Okay, so
Okay, sir.
by the end of the lecture, it is envisaged that, and once again, if you are not asking a question, mute your microphone. Miss Agbozo. Okay. It is expected that students should be able to distinguish or draw a line between what opportunities are and what ideas are, even though most of the times they are construed as the same. Once again, Miss Agbozo, mute your microphone. Come again. Thank you. Another thing we intend to achieve is that by the end of the lecture, students will be introduced to 3 generic approaches that entrepreneurs use to identify opportunities. So when you scan across the globe and you interview or interact with most notable entrepreneurs that we've witnessed in the world now, what are the various strategies or approaches that they say they use to identify opportunities? We'll be looking at some of them and discussing whether you even think they are true in the first place. Then you also be introduced to some personal characteristics of entrepreneurs, which assist them to recognize business opportunities. In other words, if you are an entrepreneur and consistently you are able to capitalize on innovative ideas and convert it into a business opportunity, how does that distinguish them from regular people? We will also be looking at some of these traits. Then we'll get to the creativity part and discuss how entrepreneurs, the techniques that they use to generate ideas, and some actions that can be used to encourage continuous development of new ideas of an entrepreneurial firm. Now, who can tell me what an opportunity is? When we say a business opportunity, what does it mean? Who can tell me in his or her own parlance? Hello, you can unmute your microphone and respond.
Sir, please, if you can come again with a question. I hardly hear you whilst we're talking.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Good. So when we talk about a
Yes,
business
clear.
opportunity, what do you think it is? An opportunity. I believe this is not the first time you are hearing it. So I just want us to brainstorm to see what it means to us whenever it comes to our mind. Opportunity. Yes, Bismarck, go on.
Okay, sir. So, sir, to my best knowledge, when we talk of a business opportunity, maybe you see a challenge and you try to find a solution to that challenge. So in the course of you providing a solution to this challenge will become a business opportunity for you, or a business idea for you. And
Okay.
you begin to develop it. And can I go on?
Yeah, you can go on.
Okay, so in the course of developing this idea, putting the necessary things in place, and it will become a business that solve the real problem on ground.
Okay, thank you very much.
And sometimes to okay.
Please, any other contribution? So class participation is being recorded though. I am monitoring those who are contributing today so that I'll score. What do you think an opportunity is? Yes, Sheriff.
Sir,
Yeah, go on.
okay. I would say an opportunity is in terms of business. Let me break it after the other. Opportunity is discovering a means or finding a solution to a problem. So in a business term, making it together, business opportunity is deriving money out of that solution you are finding of. So that makes it a business opportunity.
Okay, okay. So the idea is there. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Sir, can I come again?
Yes, Bismarck. Bismarck, go on.
Sir, what is you
Please, Bismarck,
taking
we are struggling to hear you. Can you
advantage of a situation?
Can you repeat what you just said?
Sir, when you meet a situation and you try, so what I mean is that when we talk of opportunity, it's you taking advantage of a situation, or you, yeah. So sometimes maybe you find out that maybe people find it difficult. They have to walk a long mile before getting to their destination. Maybe even if they want to go to hospital or something like that, and
Okay.
you trying to get in a vehicle, something I want to go to the market to any place that I want to go, you are able to recognize over there.
Okay.
And you
okay.
take advantage of it.
Very good. Thank you very much. Efriye, was your hand up?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can go on now.
Okay. Opportunity is a situation that needs a solution. So you trying to identify the solution to that situation becomes an opportunity for you.
Okay, a situation that needs a solution. All right. Kofi Boache.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can go on.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
An opportunity. An opportunity is a set. Hello, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, go on.
An opportunity is a set of circumstances. Yeah, it's a set of circumstances that it makes it possible for somebody to do something.
Okay, so
maybe seeing a problem somewhere and then being able to get solution to overcome that problem, for instance, in a business.
Okay. All right. So the feedback I'm getting from all of you is that opportunity is a situation that can be turned around into a business, especially when you are able to contain the situation, right? Good. You are all 100% correct. And can you see my screen now? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Research indicates that globally and essentially all entrepreneurs in one way or the other at some point in their life identified an opportunity and they were able to turn it into a successful business. Now, definitionally, you can present or you can define an opportunity as a set of circumstances. So that is why I say you were all right when we were talking about a situation or a scenario. And this circumstance must create a need for a new product, service, or business. Research also indicates that most entrepreneurial ventures started in at least one of the two avenues that we have, whether it was externally stimulated or it was internally stimulated. When we say an entrepreneurial venture was started by an external stimulation, it simply means that the entrepreneur wanted to start their own business. They scanned around the business environment, saw some opportunities or what we call business gaps, and decided to capitalize on these gaps in the market to carve a niche for themselves. And a typical example is Jeff Bezos of the famous Amazon e-business. Conversely, when we say an entrepreneurial venture was internally stimulated in terms of how it was started, it simply means that the individual who is the entrepreneur experienced a particular problem, and that problem was very much uncomfortable. So in an attempt to resolve this discomfort, they saw a business opportunity out of it. And a typical example is the iCracked. I don't know if you've heard about this iCracked online shop that basically helps iPhone users. So if you happen to be in Europe or US or Canada and you get your iPhone cracked, at the moment, the repairs can cost you, if I'm not exaggerating, close to $200. But this iCrack company has positioned itself in such a way that they can render the same services at a quality premium to you, but at an affordable price. Okay, and if you interrogate how the main proponents of iCrack started their business, they will tell you that, in fact, one of them was at the university level like you. And within just a matter of 2 weeks, the guy broke his iPhone screen twice. So you can imagine a student who is meant to pay $200, and this one I'm talking about somewhere 2013. So you can imagine being a student around 2013 and having been taxed to pay $200 for your broken screen. So in order to resolve this discomfort that comes with the monetary payments, the iCrack guy contacted some of his engineering colleagues who were able to assist him use some materials in the market to replace the screen. And so that sparked an idea in his mind that they can actually expand this venture and then invite people that are good in maintaining these phones and so on and so forth. And now, as we speak, their annual revenue is very, very high. So that is a way we say the initiative behind the startup of an entrepreneur is internally stimulated. Now, irrespective of the avenue an entrepreneur adopts to start up a business, it is a universal truism that opportunities are very, very difficult to spot, in the sense that if you do not have the entrepreneurial eye, and which most books caption as the sixth sense, the business will be in front of you, but you will never be able to recognize it. So regardless of the approach, whether it is externally stimulated or internally stimulated, it is universally known that you can easily say it, but when it comes to the do part, it is very, very difficult to identify opportunities around you. But the cornerstone to recognizing opportunities around you is, first of all, to identify a product or a service that people need and people are also willing to spend money on. In other words, if you come across a nice idea, but if the idea does not meet the criteria of an opportunity, then you can start it all right, but along the way, you will face a whole lot of challenges and you are even likely to fail. So most startups fail simply because the opportunity they identified did not meet the right benchmarks, which can start the test of time. So I am trying to indicate that before you get excited about any business idea which you want to venture into, it is imperative for you to understand whether the idea will actually satisfy a need or meet current customers' need in the business market. Now, so what are these criteria or qualities that we can say we can use to evaluate whether an opportunity is feasible or it will hit the ground, it will crash head on? According to research, most business opportunities, which after implementation stands the test of time, have four main qualities. Now, what are these qualities? The qualities are that the opportunity must be attractive. Basically, when you say an opportunity should be attractive, it means that it must be highly upheld by the customers that you are trying to deliver to. Please, if you are not speaking, kindly mute your microphone. Otherwise, later on when you are watching the video, it will not be very, the flow wouldn't be good. Okay. So basically when we say an opportunity is attractive, it means that everyone who comes across it will want to seize the opportunity to have it as one of their ventures. So it's like striking a gold. Everyone who comes across such a thing in their life will go heaven and earth to amass all the resources that they can use to extract it. Okay, so when we say an opportunity should be attractive, it means that it is something that should be highly upheld and also something that will draw the attention of every key stakeholder in the business environment. An opportunity is also construed to have a quality of durable or durability. In other words, any opportunity which is a gold mine today, but nothing tomorrow, will not be a good venture for you to go into. In other words, the amount of risk that is involved in it is beyond the moderate level, which entrepreneurs are envisaged to have. So it will be advisable that whenever you are embarking on any business venture, it should be a venture that you can run for quite some time, at least break even or make profit out of it before you can decide to start up another enterprise. Then the third feature of an opportunity, according to research, is that it is also timely. And the timely has to do with the time that will elapse between when you intend to implement it and when the users will actually need it. Typical example is the COVID vaccines that we are going to flood our market with now. You remember the first variant of the COVID is still pervasively experienced across the length and breadth of the globe. And most pharmaceutical industries are working day and night just to get the vaccines. Now, we are also told that there is a new variant of COVID-19 for which the previous vaccines might not be able to treat it efficaciously. So, which presupposes that if at a point in time they are not able to sell all the old vaccines, it will become what? A huge loss to all the pharmaceutical industries, having invested huge sums of money developing the vaccines. So there is a lot of gambling going on here. One criteria for an opportunity to stand the test of time is that before you venture into it, you have to be very much calculative and ascertain whether the time you are ready to churn it to your customers, it will actually be needed. So huge amount of gamble over here. And the last component or feature is that the opportunity should be anchored on a product or a service or a business that creates or add value for the buyers or at the end users. And we are simply saying this because don't forget, as an entrepreneur, you are not going to operate on an island, but you will be dealing with competitors in an environment which is highly turbulent and highly unpredictable. So why will you go into a business, produce, come out with products which at the end of the day is not highly revered or valued by the end users? At the end of the day, you are throwing your money away and people will not patronize it. Your business will collapse. And that is what Michael Porter, which I'm sure you are all familiar with, will mean by churning out goods and services which have distinctive features or capabilities. So at the end of the day, the products you are bringing on board should be bringing something new which is already not on the table of users. In that regard, it can distinguish your products from the one that is already populated in the market. Please, if your microphone is still on and you are not coming to ask a question, kindly turn it off because it is giving us feedback. Research also indicates that there are at least 3 ways that entrepreneurs use or adopt to identify an opportunity in the business environment. And like I mentioned earlier on, I'm not going to sit here and claim that identifying opportunities around us is a simple task. It is something that you actually need a lot of tact to be successful at. Now, if you interrogate most of the nouvelle entrepreneurs that we have across the globe, some of the ways that they allude to as having assisted them to identify opportunities include observing trends, solving a problem, and finding gaps in the marketplace. Observing trends, solving a problem, and finding gaps in the marketplace. So the first one, which is observation of trend, simply means that the entrepreneur scans his or her business environment and basically take a sober look at the political environment. I'm sure you are familiar with the pestle model. So he scans the business environment to identify what is currently happening in terms of political and regulatory policies. Then again, they also scan the environment to understand the dynamics with respect to economic forces. Then they also scan the environment to understand social forces, to be more precise, demographic changes that they are currently experiencing. Then, still on observing trends, they also scan their business environment to identify the progression of technology in the business world. And by scanning these, they pay keen attention to some of the challenges that the business environment is facing as a result of these textile factors. Then based on that, they will move in to fill that particular gap. So for instance, with respect to, okay, let's take it one by one. With respect to political actions and regulatory changes, you all agree with me that the government of Ghana, in their bid to mainstream roadworthy certification and vehicular registration, decided to modify their previous policy on who can register cars, who can issue roadworthy certificates, and so on and so forth. And out of that, some entrepreneurs saw the need to move in to help road users, more specifically to help drivers. In their bid to register, they also went in to set up their own enterprises. So Vito is one example. BIVAC and Bensam are all examples of entrepreneurial ventures that sprang out as a result of the government regulation on who can register and issue roadworthy certificates. Vito is in Accra, BIVAC too is in Accra, Bensam, I don't know whether in who you might be having other third-party roadworthy registering organizations. But this is a typical example of how regulations can incentivize entrepreneurs to move in, to capitalize on it, and also set up their own businesses. So that is on the regulatory and political machinery. Then you can also have the economic aspects of an environment incentivizing people to move in to also start up their own business.